Stop. This is not for beginners. This is C2 English, the level where language disappears and only ideas remain. If you're still watching, you're ready for elite level English.
Most people never reach this level, not because it's impossible, but because it requires thinking, not memorizing. Welcome to C2 English. At C2, English is no longer something you use. It's something you own. You don't search for words anymore. Words respond to your thoughts. Meaning comes before structure. Grammar simply follows your intention. You can express complex ideas effortlessly, even under pressure or emotion. Your language adapts instantly to context, formal, informal, academic, or persuasive. You sense nuance without analyzing it. Tone, implication, and subtext feel natural. Silence becomes part of your communication. You know when not to speak. You argue ideas, not vocabulary. Language never limits your reasoning. You paraphrase instinctively. Meaning stays strong, words change freely. Humor, irony, and subtle sarcasm feel effortless. You understand and use them naturally. You can persuade without sounding aggressive. Influence comes from clarity, not force. Your English reflects personality, not just correctness. You control rhythm, stress, and pace. Your voice carries authority. Cultural awareness guides your choices. You know what fits and what doesn't. You think critically in English, not translating, not adjusting, just thinking. Language becomes transparent. Ideas take center stage. You handle ambiguity with confidence. Uncertainty doesn't slow you down. You express disagreement with elegance, firm, respectful, and precise. You don't sound like a learner. You sound like a voice worth listening to. This is not fluency anymore. This is mastery. If this feels natural to you, you're no longer learning English. You're mastering it.
Subscribe now for elite level conversations, deep thing, and total language control. At this level, language shapes thought, and thought reshapes language in return. Words no longer describe reality. They construct it. Signal is on the time. You choose silence as deliberately as speech in both. Precision becomes an ethical choice. Careless language creates careless thinking. Ambiguity doesn't threaten you anymore. You navigate it with confidence. You first. You hear intention before words, and respond to meaning, not noise. Language becomes a tool of clarity, not ego. Expression serves understanding. You can challenge ideas without attacking people. Respect sharpens the argument. Each other. You sense when persuasion becomes manipulation, and you choose integrity. 12. Your voice adapts to context instantly, yet your identity remains intact. Complexity no longer intimidates you. You break it down without oversimplifying. You tolerate uncertainty and still move forward thoughtfully. Meaning matters more than sounding impressive. Depth replaces display. You speak to understand, not to dominate. Dialogue becomes collaboration. At this level, fluency includes listening deeply. Silence becomes a form of intelligence. Language becomes a moral responsibility. Words can heal or harm. You express disagreement with calm precision. Conflict turns into insight. Awaiting. You no longer fear being misunderstood. You clarify patiently. Your English reflects how you think. Clear mind, clear language. This is the highest level of fluency. Language in service of thought. It's not about speaking more. It's about speaking with intention, depth, and responsibility. Language is no longer decoration. It becomes intention. Again, fewer words, greater meaning. You don't fill silence, you respect it.
Clarity is an act of discipline.
Not simplicity. You speak when thought is ready, not when ego is. Listen carefully. Language aligns with values. Words reveal character.
Precision, depth. Precision replaces exaggeration. Depth replaces noise.
Welcome back, but this time, something is different. Yes, same voice. In part 1, we talked to understand. In part 2, we speak to challenge ideas. Our characters have changed. We are more aware, more honest, and less afraid of silence. This is a C2 level conversation where language meets thought. Welcome to part 2. Listen closely. Meaning lives between the words. Meaning survives paraphrase. Style adapts freely. You sense the weight of words and choose them carefully. Listening becomes an ethical act. Understanding comes first. Language serves truth, not attention. You don't dominate conversations. You elevate them.
Thought leads. Thought leads.
Language follows. Fluency becomes restraint, power through control. And you speak to connect, not to impress. Every word earns its place. Nothing is wasted. Language becomes invisible. Meaning remains. This is mastery without noise. Confidence without display.
The highest fluency is awareness.
Language in service of thought. Language becomes a mirror. It reflects how you think. Ambiguity is no longer fear. It is a deliberate choice. You tolerate complexity without rushing clarity.
You accept contradiction and think beyond binaries. If this conversation made you pause, then you're already thinking at a higher level. Subscribe not for more videos, but for deeper thinking in English. Like this video if you value meaning over memorization. Comment the one sentence. This is not just learning English. This is learning how to think in. Certainty becomes suspicious. Curiosity becomes strength. You don't simplify reality. You respect its layers. Language adapts to context, never dominates it. You hear what isn't said and respond wisely. Silence becomes communicative, sometimes louder than speech. You detach emotion from reaction. Thought stays steady. Language sharpens perception, not volume. You question your own words before questioning others. Expression becomes intentional, never impulsive. You allow nuance to breathe, no forced conclusions. Language stops persuading, it starts revealing. You speak from alignment, not from urgency. Mastery feels quiet, almost invisible. Words no longer perform, they simply exist. This is not fluency. This is linguistic consciousness. Language becomes responsibility. Every word has consequence. You choose precision over comfort, even when it's difficult. Meaning outlives expression. Form remains flexible. You resist emotional shortcuts. Thought remains intact. Language no longer defends ego. It serves understanding. You accept misinterpretation and clarify without force. Communication becomes ethical. Truth without aggression. You speak from coherence, not from pressure. Words create reality. Awareness shapes words. You leave room for others. Language invites participation. Silence protects meaning. Excess erodes it. You value restraint as a form of power. Language stops competing. It starts connecting. You speak less. You say more. Fluency becomes humility, not display. You respect the listener as much as the message. Thought matures before speech, always. Language becomes presence, fully attentive. This is language without noise, without fear. This is not the end. This is awareness in language. We started with words, then sentences, then meaning. At first, we tried to speak correctly. Then, we tried to speak fluently. And finally, we learned when not to speak. Language was never the goal, it was the path. A path to thought, to clarity, to self-awareness. We didn't master English. English revealed how we think. If this journey changed how you think, stay. Subscribe for depth, not noise.